Welcome back, everybody. My name's Tim. This is another Real Ideal Gear review, and today we're looking at my favorite watches of 2023, the watches that are going to be in my core collection for the long term. I can't say it's permanent. I'm not going to say it's permanent. Never say never. But these are the watches that I'm going to keep in my long-term core part of my collection. So we're going to go by three different types of companies, or three different types of, I guess, ways of purchasing the watches. One is AliExpress. You're going to get a lot of homages out of here, about a handful, about 5 I think I have for homages. And then we're going to go through Microbrand. So Microbrand's out there, and there's a whole bunch of them. They're kind of that in-between. They got a little homage going on, but at the same time, they got a lot of originality. They're using some, popular movements out there as well. So we're going to do that. And then the last one is going to be the big brand, store brands like Seiko, Casio, Citizen, those kind of companies, right? So those are the three categories we're going to use. We're going to go through about 5 of those each. Some of the watches that are not on this list, I have a bunch of them for sale on my website at realidealgear.com. I've got Casios. I've got a Zelos limited edition out there for sale. It just didn't fit my personality. It didn't fit my expectations around what the watch was going to do, so I'm putting it up for sale. I've got a few other cool watches, dive watches, the Seiko's out there, just a handful of watches. So check it out, realidealgear.com. I think you're going to find there's some great values, some great buys on that website. So let's start off with AliExpress, and to start things off, we're going to start off with what's on my wrist, which is the AliExpress Rudland Pilot Turbine watch. So at the 6 o'clock position, where you typically would see, in this case, a small second hands, you see a turbine with a little red dot on there, and it goes around the same way that the second hand would. It just adds a little something different to the watch. Other than that, it's just a classic looking Flieger style watch, which I really like. Sapphire crystal, I think it's 50 meters of water resistance. I'll verify it and put it on there. Great leather strap. It's got the classic Flieger, pilot watch look to it. So I just love it. And it also has a sunburst blue dial. The hour markers on here and the hands are loomed. So the loom is pretty good. It's not all night loom. It's not the best loom out there, but it lasts a long time. It's probably most of the night loom, if I remember correctly. But go to all these watches have been reviewed. So if you want to look at the full review, go to my website or go to my YouTube page, go to my videos and look up the video that has that review. And I'll do typically it's 10 to 15 minute review on each one of these watches, though they've all been reviewed. So great watch. I love it. It's definitely an homage. I'm not going to get around that. I'm not going to avoid the obvious here. All these are homages, including the Pagani PD1717. Fantastic watch. The reason this watch just sticks with me is the legibility. I love the legibility, and I love the dome crystal. Sapphire crystal, domed, 200 meters of water resistance. This is like an everyday watch. If you're looking for an EDC watch with a little bit of style to it, this is the watch. I think there's nothing better than this watch out there, and this is less than $100. Seiko movement, so you got a trusted movement in there that's very reliable, robust, can handle some bumps and bruises along the way. And the bracelet, you can absolutely get it to fit you, no problem whatsoever. Another under $100 watch option, and most people say this is a watch you really should buy. I think it is too, and that is the Steel Dive Willard. This is a cushion case with a Seiko movement on the inside. I love the color on here. It's kind of got that subdued yellow to it. And then you got the handset in there, which is really nice. The loom on this watch is phenomenal. The loom on the Pagani sucks. I'll just be honest with you. It's really pretty bad. It only lasts a few minutes. Literally, it only lasts a few minutes. This will last all night. Hours of loom all night. Now, granted, when you get to that 6-7 hours of nighttime, the loom is, combined with tired eyes, it may be a little more difficult to read, but definitely lasts all night. Great loom, great bezel, 200 meters of water resistance, screw down crown. I swapped out the bracelet for a Strapco Engineer bracelet. I love the little bit of extra look that brings this watch. Still a kind of a tooly looking watch. Does a great job. Date window is great. Last but not least, well, actually not last but not least, but let's talk about the one that gets me the most flack. And that's the Sugis 001 Daytona Homage. Yep, that's what it is. And I love the Daytona look. It's phenomenal. It really is. I'll never own it. I'm not going to spend thousands upon tens of thousands of dollars for that watch. This watch scratches the itch, but I love this. I think this is a great combination of an attempt at an homage. They do a great job. What I don't like about this is the clasp, okay? The clasp on a Rolex is the one that you can easily adjust. This one is terrible. You actually have to, one video I saw, the guy took dental floss in there to move the spring bar because the spring bar is pulled down, move out, move over, move back up. It is a pain in the butt. Now for me, fortunately for me, when I put this watch on, it fit perfectly. I didn't have to do anything with the micro adjusts. I cross my fingers and hope I don't have to. But 100 meters of water resistance, chronograph, mechanical automatic movement, keeps great time, high beat movement. There are so many cool things about this watch. And yeah, it's a little bit higher priced, but dang it, they did a great job with this watch. They really, really did a great job with that watch. Next up and last, and I may have outspoken myself when I said that the Ixindao diver, titanium diver, was the best watch value at $200 on AliExpress. I forgot about this one, and that's the San Martin 036. This is also, when you get to the sale, $200. Seiko movement, 300 meters of water resistance, incredible lume. Almost as good as the Ixindao titanium diver. Great all-night lume, great bezel action. The handset is phenomenal. It's a skeletonized handset. The second hand has a little bit of red tip on the end, which again, I love the splash of color on there. And then there's also on the bracelet, they polished in between the bracelet links. So it's brushed on top, but polished in between. So as the watch drapes over your wrist, you get a little bit of flash off there. There's some polishing on here as well. It makes this watch into a semi-formal watch. I think you can pull it off under certain circumstances. Tough as nails though, with a sapphire crystal stainless steel case. If you want to wear it every day, it's a chunky one. It's heavy. It's a 300 meter water resistant watch. So you're going to be dealing with some weight and some bulk there. But it certainly could be an everyday watch. Now, moving on to micro brands, we have the Signum Cuda. And the Signum Cuda is legendary for its full lume dial, basically. Titanium case, titanium bracelet, which I don't have on here. I took it off, put on this awesome rubber strap, which I just think is incredible. I love it. It just adds more color. This is my fall. During September, October, I start wearing this watch a lot because of the color, and it kind of matches up with what's going on. But I picked this watch, and I want to mention this because they have the lighter dial version, which I think is white or almost white, with the same handset, which is loomed hands. I think the legibility of that suffers as a result of that light color dial. So I highly recommend, if you're looking at one of these, go get the Signum Cuda with a slightly darker dial. This is the orange dial. I think they have a blue and a purple. But I highly recommend that because the handset is more legible during the daytime hours, which is when you watch the most anyway. So if you're looking for that quick glance to see what time it is, this is the way to do it. 200 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, titanium case bracelet, which is coated in a scratch resistant coating, which makes that watch another one of those incredible tool watch, like everyday watch. Absolutely. Take the orange bracelet off. It's a bit bright. Okay. Put the titanium bracelet back on, kind of brings things back down to that tool category. I'm having fun with that watch. Another micro brand which I love is Revlot. The Revlot Hex Mariner 39. This is the first dive watch I purchased where the case diameter was less than 40 millimeters, and I was kind of nervous about how it would look on my wrist because I'd never worn a watch less than 40, and it was just fine. All that worry for nothing. It also is the first watch that has gold gilting on it. Okay, this is about as blingy as I get is this right here, and I like it. I think it's a good balance. It's only on the dial. It's only where your eyes should be focused anywhere. That's what she says. And then you've got this case where it's just stainless steel all the way across. There's no two-tone bracelet or anything like that. It's just, no, I'm not there. I like everything right here where the eyes are supposed to go. So great design. Now it's a Hex Mariner because it's the Mariner, basically the Submariner general shape to it, but then they put this hexagonal thing all the way through the watch. If you look at the dial, the texture in the dial, it's got this hexagonal shape to it, these little repeating pattern on the dial itself. And then the hour markers are hexagons. The lollipop on the end of the second hand is a hexagon. Even the bracelet has facets that would kind of lead you to believe that they put this hexagon pattern even into the bracelet, which I think is awesome. The loom on here is incredible. This is right up there with the Wise Adamascus and the Ixtendao. It is phenomenal. The bezel action is great. It's got one of the best bezels out there. Fully loomed bezel. Not fully loomed, but the numbers and markers are on there are loomed. Awesome, awesome watch. Next up, you can't talk about Microbrands without talking about this watch, and that is the Swordfish Field bronze case. This is a watch, took me by surprise. I wasn't anticipating this watch. Zelos emailed me, like they do all the customers who sign up for emails. I'm not anything special. I got one of those customer emails that said they were going to put these out, and I ordered one, and I love it. Burnt orange is one of my favorite colors, so this really fits in well. It's a 38 millimeter case, which fits more into the field watch size anyway. You've got the 24-hour markers on the outside. You've got the hour markers on the inside there. You've got a great handset. The colorway is awesome. It goes to that fume, kind of darker black on the outer edges, which is where your hour markers are. Easier to read. Legibility increases. You've got this awesome bronze case, which over time is going to darken up into this kind of dark copper, almost blackish copper look to it, which is awesome. I have a Zelos Hammerhead bronze case, Frost, full lume dial. Phenomenal color. The bronze case turns into this independently colored case. There's no two that are the same. And it's really cool. So I'm anticipating this kind of copper, this rose gold kind of look to it to change over into this really dark thing, which is gonna match up really well with the strap, and then also the dial, which has got kind of that darker burnt orange, kind of black orange look to it. So phenomenal. I love Zelos. Next up, my favorite dive watch that I have in my collection. It is the Wise Adamascus 88. The design, the loom, the 904L high luster steel that they have on here. They do have a display case back. This is a Miyota high beat movement. Okay, so yep, I'm okay with it. It's all right. I put on an aftermarket Artem strap, Sailcloth strap, which matches up perfectly. Very durable straps. I love these straps. I think these are some of the best straps that are out there. They're Sailcloth straps. Yeah, everything about this watch, just love it. Stainless, 904 stainless steel. You've got the sapphire crystal, 200 meters of water resistance, very thin case. The profile on your watch, on your wrist of this watch is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I love this watch. Highly, highly recommend that one. Let's go off to international companies now, the big box international companies. And let's start off with the big boy, which is Seiko. Literally the big boy. This is a big watch. Big case, angles. I love the angles on here. I've kind of taken this watch and like, if I want to wear something that's just, you know, tough guy looking, I wear this watch. This is the watch that I pick. Typical Seiko issues though, you got the bezel that's mushy and doesn't line up. The handset is awesome. The dial texture is really cool. The loom on here is great. The legibility is awesome. It has a date window, which is easy to read. The crown, super easy to grab onto. The crown has great knurling on it. I put an aftermarket strap on here. I think this is called the Strapco barbed wire strap. And this bracelet, this bracelet is extremely flexible. Look at how much flex you get with this thing. This makes this watch so much more comfortable to wear, and I can't explain it. It's awesome. Now let's go to another company that I like, which is Bulova. This is the 96B158 high beat movement. Look at the dial on here. Great texturing to the dial. You've got the facets on the hour markers, which kind of gives a little flash of light here and there. Great dress watch. Grab and go quartz movement. The steel on here is pretty good. You know, just polish it up. It's polished all the way around, but just kind of keep it nice and fingerprint free. Great leather strap. I really enjoy this. This is as close to a spring drive on a Grand Seiko as I'm going to get, and I highly recommend it. Quartz movement, very precision oriented. I think at the time when I bought it, they said it was plus or minus 10 seconds a year. Okay, now I think they've backed off and it's like 2 or 3 seconds a month or something like that. But either way, this is one of the watches I use to gauge the accuracy of other watches long term. It's phenomenal. Next up is the sister company to Bulova, which is the Caravel. This is the Caravel Military. The only place I've seen this sold is on Amazon, so check out Amazon if you're interested in this. They have a dark blue dial, which is much more legible than this one, but I just found this color to be so much more interesting. And on top of which, there's this orange second hand in there that to me, I love it. I love that little splash of color that's in there. Quartz movement. You've got a plated case, so it's got this darker case to it. Heavy leather strap. But what's really cool about this is it has like a Timex Indiglow illumination system on here. So you press this button, it lights up the entire dial. You see this, it's a great nighttime watch. This has got that Flieger style dial to it. You got the triangle up there at the 12 o'clock, so it's trying to be a Flieger. It's not really that big of a dial anyway, but it's a quartz movement, so it's grab and go movement. And you also have the date on there as well as far as the complication goes. It's a great watch. Next up is the Casio. Nobody can talk about these big companies without talking about Casio, the big boy. This is my favorite Casio of all time. It is the Pathfinder triple sensor PRW 6600Y. Yeah, they're known for their model numbers. But you have the altimeter, barometer, compass, temperature. You have stopwatch, timer, alarm, dual time or world time. You also can record different altitudes that you're at, which if you're really into the mountaineering thing, which I've done some mountaineering, it would have been helpful. You can do that as well. Tough solar, so there's no need for a battery. Analog, the hands and the hour markers are all loomed, so they light up under the dark conditions. And it has a light which lights up the digital display and the dial. Great rubber strap. I'm not a fan of the holes of Casio. You guys have all heard me say this. It's just, you kind of go between the extreme of too tight, too loose. Or if you get it just right to start with, it gets a little bit too tight or a little bit too loose as the day goes on. But this is an awesome watch. I love it. Great, low maintenance. It does everything I need when I go outdoors in this watch right here. So put down in the comments below what you think of the watches that I provided here. Any ideas, anything that comes to mind that you want to share with me. Hey, check out this watch. I think you might enjoy this because of what you had. I'd love to. I reply back to those comments as soon as I can. And I'm just really interested in what you guys have to say. So there you go. Now there's going to be a series of videos. It's not going to be just this one. There's going to be a series of videos that come up under different titles with different watches in there over the next week. So pay attention and take a look at those videos and let me know what you think. My name is Tim. This has been another Real Ideal Gear Review. We'll catch you guys next time.